Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sutra-94. You alone can free the mind. Chittadhyanta kritir nasti mamantara bhavayed iti vikalpanam abhavena vikalpair unjito bhavet. Freedom is realized when the mind is free of thoughts by contemplating that I am not the mind. The sutra says Chittadi antakritihi. Chitta here is the mind, which is manas, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara. This is antakarana. Antakritihi is antakarana. Kritihi also means creation. The antakarana is part of the creation. The sadhaka contemplates as Chittadi antakritihi nasti. The contemplation is that the antakarana does not exist for the sadhaka. This is abhava, which is the non-existence. Mama antaha bhavayet iti. The sadhaka contemplates this way. He is freed from vikalpa or thought patterns in the mind. Vikalpanam abhavena. The mind is non-existent. Abhava. Vikalpa is non-existent. The sadhaka is free from vikalpa. Unjita means free from. Chittadi antakritihi nasti mama anta bhavayet iti vikalpanam abhavena vikalpaihi unjito bhavet. By contemplating that I am not the mind, the freedom is ultimately realized. Abhava in the sutra is non-existence. Let us understand abhava. Things that are impermanent do not have existence as their intrinsic nature. Intrinsic nature means swabhavam. For example, the intrinsic nature of fire is heat. Heat is fire's swabhavam. When a vessel filled with water is placed on fire, the water becomes hot. Heat is not the swabhavam of water. It has borrowed the heat from fire. The heat in the water is incidental. If the fire is put off, the water will become cold. The intrinsic nature or swabhavam is permanent. The incidental nature is not permanent. It comes and goes. When we look at the creation, nothing seems to be permanent. They come and go. Objects and experiences appear. They remain for a period, and in the end, they all perish or disappear. They are impermanent. They exist only for a given period based on borrowed existence. Just like how the water remains hot for a period because it has borrowed the heat from the fire. Impermanent things enjoy borrowed existence. Hence, we call them mithya. That which is permanent is always present. And its intrinsic nature is existence, which is satyam. Satyam is independent existence. Satyam is known as Atman, consciousness, and awareness. The world is impermanent. The impermanent world enjoys only borrowed existence. The impermanent world is abhava in this sutra, which is as good as non-existent. It is unreal, or in other words, only relatively real. The universe enjoys borrowed existence from the Atman. The Atman alone is permanent. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubayorapi drashtontastva nayostatva darshibihi. The unreal has no existence. The real has no non-existence. That which is permanent alone is Satyam. There can be several ornaments made of gold. Can we imagine gold ornaments without gold? The ornaments cannot exist without gold, but gold can exist without ornaments. The ornaments are only name and form, and they have borrowed existence. Gold is permanent and ornaments are impermanent or abhava. That which is permanent is Atma, and that which has borrowed existence is Anatma. The creation is Anatma. The gold is the Karanam or cause for the ornaments. The Atma is the cause or Karanam for creation, the Jagat. The Atma is Bhairava, the Karana Ishvara for the Jagat. The Jagat is the effect, the Karya Prapancham. When the mind is turned towards the world and pursues Karya Prapancham, the Karana Ishvara is forgotten. Karya Prapancham keeps the mind in bondage. Interacting with the world is always filled with emotions. In every transaction we undertake, there can be ups and downs and emotions. There is no permanent happiness, and both happiness and suffering come and go. The world takes over our lives completely, and in the process, the Karana Ishvara is forgotten. The mind is filled with Vikalpa, which are numerous thought patterns about the objective world. The Sutra says the sadhaka is freed from Vikalpa when he contemplates with a bhavana that the mind or the antakaranam is non-existent or abhava. Abhava should also be understood as mithya. This does not mean that the sadhaka should still the mind with no thoughts. The sadhana is not about achieving a thoughtless mind. The mind is filled with numerous thoughts and ideas about the Karya Prapancham. It is about recognizing the illusory nature of thoughts. They are abhava or mithya. Existence is not the intrinsic nature of the mind. The mind enjoys borrowed existence from the Atman. The thoughts in the mind are like dust particles that appear in a ray of light, and the light alone makes them visible. Similarly, it is the Atman alone which gives the thoughts their existence. The Atman is awareness. The thoughts exist in the light of awareness. This is Chit Shakti. The Sutra says, let the sadhaka practice a bhavana that he is pure unconditioned awareness. This unconditioned awareness is beyond the mind and its ever-changing thoughts. The sadhaka contemplates that the antakaranam is non-existent or abhava. When the mind is divested of the thoughts of the Karya Prapancham, it becomes tranquil and withdrawn. This state is not about achieving a thoughtless mind, but about transcending the mind altogether and resting in pure awareness. Chittadi antakriti nasti mama anta bhavayetiti vikalpanam abhavena vikalpaihi unjito bhavet. A set of pearls woven in a thread makes up a necklace. The necklace will not exist without the thread, whereas the thread will exist without the necklace. The thread is independent of the necklace and it is pervasive. Wherever the necklace is, the thread is. The thread is both pervasive and independent. This is how awareness should be understood. It is everywhere. It is pervasive and independent. The creation is like a set of pearls and the awareness is the thread. There is nothing outside the awareness. Let the mind be turned away from the creation, the karya prapancham, and rest in the awareness, the karana Īśvara. This is the dharana in the sutra. The sutra says, utilize your time to inquire into the nature of karana Īśvara. The karana Īśvara is ekam, nityam and satyam. This is jnanam. The awareness is continuous. It exists in the waking state, the dream state and the sleep state. It is like a thread that holds the beaded necklace together. The thread gives shape to the necklace. The necklace will not exist without the thread, whereas the thread will exist independently. This is the nature of awareness. The waking, dream, and sleep states are woven in the awareness. The thread is karana Īśvara or the karana Brahma. This alone is satyam. If this knowledge is absent in us, we will mistake the karya prapancham as the ultimate truth. Then mortality, old age, disease, and death will become the truth. Bring the mind again and again to dwell on the awareness. Every other thought will eventually fade away. Every moment to us will be the state of joy. This awareness is Brahmakara Vritti. It is the Brahmakara Vritti that fills the mind. Such a mind takes the form of the Brahman, Bhairava. Every other thought over time is replaced by the thought of the Atman. The waves in the mind go silent. For the one who dwells on the Brahman, the other thoughts don't matter anymore, even if they come and go. The Brahmakara Vritti is like fire that will consume every other thought. The sutra says that freedom is realized when the mind is free of thoughts by contemplating that I am not the mind. This state is not about achieving a thoughtless mind, but about transcending the mind altogether and resting in pure awareness. Brahmakara Vritti eliminates every other vritti in the mind. The mind is free of vikalpa. This is how the sadhaka escapes to freedom. It is about dropping all the conflicting thoughts in the mind and not indulging in unnecessary transactions with the world. We cannot avoid transactions in the world, but give it no more importance. This is essential for Atmanishtam. A mind that is only focused on karya prapancham is filled with vikalpa. This sutra is about being firmly established in one's true nature without distraction from thoughts or external influences. It signifies deep commitment where an individual remains absorbed in the thought of the Atman rather than being swayed by external desires or duality. Chittadhyanta kritir nasti mamantara bhavayed iti vikalpanam abhavena vikalpair unjito bhavet. Freedom is realized when the mind is free of thoughts by contemplating that I am not the mind.